Hello team, today I'll be reviewing what I personally believe should be high school computer class material for the next decade. Typing of the Dead Overkill. Developed by Modern Dream and published by Sega, Typing of the Dead Overkill is the sequel to the famous cult classic Typing of the Dead on the Dreamcast. Much like the DC version, Typing of the Dead Overkill is based on the existing House of the Dead Overkill game released in 2009 for the Nintendo Wii. To recap the old game, Typing of the Dead Overkill follows the Grindhouse-themed escapades of Agent G and Isaac Washington, as they hunt down Papa Caesar and his desire to make zombies and eat Chinese food. Typing of the Dead Overkill, however, will test your words per minute rather than your aim accuracy. Rather than working with a light gun, you'll be typing your way across 10 levels and 3 minigames, and tax your mind with the game's vast vocabulary. Now, many viewers that are familiar with the old Typing of the Dead are probably wondering how Overkill measures up in terms of composition. I'll tell you guys right now that the game does not disappoint. Many of the old mechanics and clever wordplay construction have all made it into the new incarnation, with a couple new bells and whistles. Rather than letter grades, the combo system from the 2009 Overkill game is your grade measurement, and it's fairly merciless since about 3 mistakes will drop your combo on the spot. Power-ups and collectibles are picked up through the tab button as well, and you could use backspace to cancel words and swap threats. Finally, punctuation isn't an issue normally, but there's a hardcore mode where you have to type words precisely or both lose 1 life and your combo on the spot. Now, I don't usually bring in subjective opinions into my reviews, but Typing of the Dead Overkill, for lack of a better term, is fucking fun! Much like its Dreamcast counterpart, the typing lexicon is usually focused around certain themes in the level. That, combined with how completely outrageous the original Overkill was, leads to a great synergy of comedy that keeps you coming back for more. Typing out all the words just feels so good, and you often wind up in a trance when trying to manage a giant horde and keep your combo going at the same time. The difficulty progression is fair and balanced, where on normal mode it started out fair, then slowly bore its fangs with more confounding word combos. There's also a pretty meaty amount of content to enjoy, which is somewhat doubled up with the classic game mode packaged into the game as well. The campy nature of the Typing of the Dead spin-off really complements the Tarantino nature of the original Overkill game so well. It's like the 2 game modes were made for each other. There are some slight problems with the gameplay, however. While the game's overall word pool is impressive, the ones in the individual levels are somewhat small and are prone to repeats during single playthroughs, let alone replaying the entire game. The word generator also seems to use a lot of contemporary humor and net memes, which feels like shallow humor compared to some of the other word setups they use. This, along with a DLC dictionary tab, leads to paid DLC, which is a bad sign. Another problem with Typing of the Dead Overkill is that it lacks a lot of clever mechanics from the original Typing of the Dead, such as quiz shows, wordplay, and long-winded stories. The last level has a word association mechanic, but it's not outright necessary and you could beat it by mashing your head on the keyboard. The classic House of the Dead mode is packaged with the game, but being a huge arcade buff, I feel like this game experience is really shallow without the light gun. My chief complaint, however, is that we don't have the Dreamcast type pack like we did in the old game. Sure, the Dreamcast is dead, but it's just not Typing of the Dead without self-aware humor. Give us a back-mounted computer at least, for God's sake! Typing of the Dead Overkill carries the Tarantino motif that the original Overkill game had, and to this day it still holds up. From the level select movie posters, to the funky music, and even the intermission screen, it all exudes the Grindhouse design elements, and applies them incredibly well to the House of the Dead universe. Admittedly, this makes this a very hit-or-miss visual design. If you aren't a fan or neutral to Tarantino or the Grindhouse visual design, then you aren't going to be hooked by this game. But if you remotely like this kind of aesthetic, then you will adore Typing of the Dead Overkill. Now, the following may come as a shocker since Sega's usually good about this kind of thing, but Typing of the Dead Overkill is a technical nightmare. The game engine has been reported to crash on random PCs with no rhyme or reason, but luckily I was spared from this headache. Sound effects and voices tend to cut out each other during the gameplay, which make things irritating when your bullets are dead silent just because someone is yelling at zombies. Texture clipping is rampant across the game, and some models like Isaac and Candy look ridiculously low detailed or poorly animated. The game runs fairly well at least, taking up very little processing power even when recording or running other programs. It would have been nice if they put more programmers in to work on this game, but as it stands it feels like an amateur Slack job more than anything. While I'm overly critical about the game, I could definitely recommend Typing of the Dead Overkill in the highest regards. It has its problems, sure, but the game is really worthy of succeeding the Typing of the Dead game series. Modern Dream knew exactly what they wanted to do with the game and presented it in an entertaining and fantastic manner. Typing of the Dead Overkill is the fine line between skill building and time wasting. The intellectual fart joke, the educational Ren and Stimpy episode, and it's completely fantastic.